All right, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2019 Ford Mustang. Up front is a 5.0 liter V8, down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. If you'd like to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive. But let's get back to that 5.0 liter V8. There's been a bunch of work done to this engine, intake and stuff, but it is running on E85 and it's making a bit over factory horsepower and it is insanely fun. I have not smiled this much in a car in a very, very long time. It is insane and it sounds absolutely awesome. I'll cut to a clip that I just filmed here, which is why I'm still smiling. It's the best. You know what? I'll give you a little something right here. Oh, I don't know if there's any better sound than that. That is pretty amazing. And that is with the exhaust in track mode, which we'll talk about the modes once we get onto the interior and stuff like that. But it is absolutely awesome. Oh my God, it sounds so good. The thing I love about the 5.0 is that it really does pull up towards the top. It doesn't fall flat on its face like a lot of other V8s. It still has grunt above 6,000 RPM, and that cannot be said for a lot of other cars. Paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission. Nothing really too crazy here. It shifts normally. It's really notchy and it's really nice. That was my biggest complaint with the earlier Mustangs from the mid-2000s. Their shifters felt horrible. This feels nice. It actually clicks into place. It's really, really satisfying, and I really like that. Last but not least about the drivetrain, it is rear-wheel drive, but we finally are reviewing a Mustang with independent rear suspension, and you really, really feel it on acceleration. It doesn't feel like it wants to kick out. It doesn't feel like the car is fighting you. It just goes in a straight line for once. Finally, a Mustang that just wants to go straight and not crash into a crowd, but you know, we can still make that happen. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two actual gauges. On the left is the tachometer and on the right is the speedometer. The funny thing about the tachometer is that it says revolutions per minute, actually in text, like it actually spells it out for you. I don't know if I've ever seen another car do this, but it says it. On the speedometer, even more crazy, it says ground speed, in case you were confused about what speed the speedometer was reading. I see a tunnel coming up. Oh my God. Then in the center of the gauges, we do get a screen. This is going to be all of your settings. This is going to be your track settings. This is going to be your vehicle settings, your exhaust settings, like I mentioned earlier. Then on the steering wheel on the left, you get your volume controls and your cruise control. And then on the right, your settings for the center gauge screen and your phone settings. To the left, I just have my lights. And then on the door, I have my window switches, lock and unlock, stuff like that. And then a infotainment system. It looks like the same screen that you'll get in a base model Fiesta. I don't like this part of the Mustang. It really, really feels cheap at this point. The whole area surrounding it, the climate controls, the radio controls, it just all feels very, very cheap, except for they actually do give you a sort of launch button to start the car. It's gimmicky, I get it, but I kind of like that. At least the 7-year-old in me really likes that. Then we have traction control. Then we actually have a button to change the feel of the steering. So we can have it in comfort, normal, or sport, which we'll have it in sport. So let's try out the sport steering. You know, I actually trust this thing through corners. I've never trusted a Mustang through a corner. I've always been terrified. But this, it actually holds on really well. It's a little nose heavy, but Then we get to the shifter. Nothing really too crazy here. I like the shifter a lot, and it does actually have automatic rev matching. It's not the best. It's a little bit sloppy, but at least it has that feature. Now, the seats are actually really nice. I really do like them. You can fit in them pretty well, at least me being a bigger guy. It's hard to find sports seats that I actually properly fit in. It's my biggest complaint about the Focus RS is that I don't really fit in the seats, but these I actually do fit in, and I really, really like them. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so we'll do a back seat review. All right, so I'm in the back of the 2019 Mustang. Not good. This is with the seat all the way moved up. There's no way you could fit real human people back here while driving. My head is hitting the rear glass. It's super hot. I get no amenities, no center console. Although the seats, they do sort of dish in. I mean, they really take the form of bucket seats. I mean, these really are bucket seats. So they would be comfortable if my head wasn't squished up against glass. But that being said, my head is squished up against glass, and so it is not comfortable. So these are horrible, horrible back seats. Now we have to talk about looks. This does have the RTR grille installed, which I think is probably my favorite part of the car. I absolutely love it. It is an aftermarket part that you can get, and I love the color. It's called Need for Green, which is, you know, whatever, Ford. But I like the color. It's a very striking car. These are aftermarket wheels as well. It does have some aftermarket aero, but altogether, I think this car looks absolutely amazing. And overall, I have to say the Mustang, it really does look good. I hope that they stick with this body style for a little bit longer. I think the higher trims absolutely look great. I even think the lower trims of the Mustang look good. It's just in a really good point right now, and I hope that they stick with it for a while and not go off redesigning it like some other auto manufacturers did with their muscle car. Overall, I really have to say that this Mustang has 100% redeemed Mustangs for me in my book. I was not a fan of Mustangs. I had driven an 07 GT500, garbage. I drove a 2014 5.0, but it was automatic, and that was okay, but I didn't really fall in love with it. This, as you guys saw, my reaction to the sound, to ripping on it, this is an awesome, awesome car. I think Mustangs really sort of come in sort of waves of they're really good and then they're really bad and then they're really good and then they're really bad, and I think we're at least nearing a peak right now. I don't think we've quite peaked yet, but we're getting there, and I'm really, really enjoying it. The 2000s were by far a low point. The early 80s were by far a midpoint, but this is a high point for Mustangs. And this is a high point for anyone with eardrums. I cannot get over it. This is awesome. I absolutely love this car. It is so, so good. I would get in a lot of trouble if I owned one of these. And I think my neighbors would probably have me kicked out of the neighborhood because I would never take it out of track mode for the exhaust. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Mike for letting me drive his Mustang. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really like to. Take care, guys. Aside